Hi YouTube, it's me. I'm back. I am sorry that it took me so long to get back to you guys. I am so sorry. So let's start from a lot of people was asking me. Well, I'm gonna start from uh, when I was at Fort Sam. Okay, you got a little bit from when I was at Christmas and I went on leave for Christmas and I came back to Fort Sam. It was January, December, January. And I left Fort Sam April, like the last part of April. And when I was at Fort Sam, I was a rope. And if you're not sure what the rope means, that's when you're airman leader rope. You're just an airman leader. You kind of like babysitting. I'm not gonna lie. I learned a lot from my rope days. I started off as a green rope, then I went up to yellow, and then eventually I went up to red, which was the top airman leader rope. I had my rope for about 2 of the 3 months, or 3 of the 4 months of me being at Fort Sam. So, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Fort Sam or ever been in tech school, but having a rope for that long is really hard. So, um, by the time I graduated, I ended up getting the top airman leader rope. I had that for a while, a good, let's say, 4 weeks, because I was doing the duties as a red rope with my yellow rope. And basically, as a rope, you're just marching super flight. And if you guys YouTube super flight, you'll see what that is. It's all of the medics, dental, pharmacy, everybody's just marching, and it's like at least like a lot of people. I want to say about 500, 800 students going to class. And as a red rope, you're outside of the flight, and then the yellow ropes are outside of flight, and the green ropes are marching the flight. And I was hoarse every week, like, and it feels so good not to be a rope, because I'm not gonna lie, it's like you're babysitting. You're like the MTLs. A lot of people don't like ropes. A lot of people say, "Oh well, the ropes, you guys are just you're like the MTL's little biatches or whatever, or you snitch on people." No, that's not the point of the rope. The rope, in my opinion, it helps you build leadership. I know I said in my previous videos that when I was in basic training, I did not want to um, be a part of like the dorm chief or all that element leader. That was just my personal opinion. When I got to tech school, I did want to be a rope, and you'll find some people, they want to be ropes because they want an EPR bullet, or they just want it for the last week that they're there, and then, oh well, everybody's trying to get below the zone. Which if you Google all these things I'm talking about, you understand what I'm saying. Below the zone is when you put on E4 6 months ahead of time before you're supposed to, when you get to your permanent party base. But that's not the reason why I did it. I'm not super airman or anything like that. Like I said in my other videos, I did ROTC before, so military stuff kind of came kind of easy to me. So I did my rope thing. I know some people ask about the whole rollback. Um, the 4M program is hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it and say, yeah, but at 23, I just turned 23 last Friday. Whoop, whoop. But I was 22 going through the program. You have 18-year-old, 19, 20, 20. You have people of all ages going through this program. So when I say it's hard, yes, it is hard, but it's not unbeatable. Um, the way it goes is the first month or two you're in classes doing book stuff, and you're in classes with the Navy, and the Navy, they're fun people. If you ever get a chance to be with the Navy, they're awesome. I love the Navy. Um, but you're doing book stuff and you're doing a little labs here and there. But then by the time you get into that last part, you're doing skills. And skills is when everything you learn from the books and the labs that you have, it comes all together. And I did get pushed back, so that's why I say it's still possible to get pushed back and still pass the course. I did get pushed back. I got pushed back for skills. That week was a very hard week. You have 7 mods, and the mods mean you have 7 units that you have to go through and pass. Like basically like 7 chapters that you have to go through and pass. EMT things, and you have different scenarios like CPR, and what do you do if someone has an allergic reaction, or what do you do if you have someone that's having a baby and she has a breech presentation and the arm is sticking out, or what would you do if you're the EMT or the ambulance driver, just in case some of you guys don't know what EMT, or if you are the medic going to help that person out, what would you do if somebody said hey, like I'm dehydrated, or they pass out, what would you do? You know, what steps would you take before you administer like certain medications? You have to get certain vital signs, things like that. And it seems like a lot right now, but you know, over the week they go through it. I mean, over the course of the program they go through it. So like I said, skills. I got pushed back due to skills. Let's see. Let's start off. I believe I was a green rope during this time. I was a green rope, and green rope is probably the hardest rope you're gonna have, other than red. If I could have just stayed at yellow, I would have been good. But I was like, after people was graduating, I had to step up and become, you know, do as a yellow rope. I had to step up and take red rope responsibilities. I'm like, well, since I'm already doing red rope stuff, let me go ahead and get my red rope. So, green ropes was the hardest rope. It's like people don't respect you. They're looking at you like you just a green rope. You ain't gonna do nothing. Trust me, when you guys get to tech school, you're gonna understand what I'm saying. Like, I'm not being sarcastic. Green rope is the hardest rope, if not red, because you get no respect. So green rope, I was getting in trouble for everything. I was getting in trouble for not seeing people on their cell phones. Like, I got written up. I'm not gonna say by who, but I got written up because someone was on their cell phone, and I was outside. We are on break from class. I didn't know the person. I didn't even see the person. He was literally sitting behind me. The captain came up. He written pulled his 341 and writ him up and looked at me and said, "Hey, you, airman leader, you didn't see him on the cell phone." I said, "No, sir, I didn't see him." I got in trouble for that because I didn't see him sitting behind me. It's you get in, as a rope. I'm telling you, you get in trouble for crazy things. But at the end of the day, to me, I feel like it helped me become a better person, a better leader. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So I did get in trouble for that, and I got in trouble for I was just having a bad day. I mean, no one's perfect, even as a rope, even no one's perfect. So I have bad days. Some days I wake up and I'm just like, man, everybody has bad days. So I had a bad day, and I got in trouble by another MTL for it was just a bad day. I'm just gonna say it like that. And so on top of that, the day um, I failed mod 7. Mod 7 is probably the easiest mod you're going to have, but I took it for granted and I didn't study. And I failed it. But then the next day I had to retest and I passed. So, you know, that was knocked out of the belt, you know, even though I passed with like a 80 or 90, they give you a 70, which is fine. I mean, I passed. I didn't get pushed back for failing one test. But then the next day, it was called the pre-registry. So as EMTs, Air Force, Navy, you guys don't have to get um, registered as EMTs, but as Air Force, we have to get registered as EMTs. And the day before, so I took I failed mod 7, had to take the retest the next day. So Monday failed, Tuesday retest. Wednesday I had to take a pre-registry test, and that test was like almost 200 questions. And if you failed that, they still push you back. So I ended up passing that on a Wednesday. So this is 3 tests already. And so that Thursday, or I might have my days confused, but it was back to back. So that Thursday, I was supposed to be practicing for skills. But instead, I got in trouble for different things. You know, you already getting disrespected by people by being a green rope. You get in trouble for not seeing things that you have no concern over. You know, so that Thursday, instead of me practicing for skills, I'm in the MTL's office getting in trouble. So I'm like, okay. So I was already stressed out. Skills come, it's seven skills, and you basically have to read off a paper. I mean, you have to study the paper over the course of your time being there. And when you get in there, it's like labs, simulations. You have dummies. You have a dummy just got shot in the chest. What do you do? What do you do with this? You have to say it word by word. You got to make sure you know what you're talking about. I was so stressed out. So by the time skills come, I failed 4 out of the 7 skills lab. And if you do that, you just failed outright. If I would have failed 3 out of the 7, I would have just had to go through round 2 and round 3, and then eventually you would have passed or you would have got pushed back. But because I failed 4, they got pushed. They pushed me back a week. So I mean, yeah, it sucked not graduating with the class that I went into, but I feel like everything happens for a reason. And then the next time I had skills, I think I missed 2 labs or one, and then I passed. So I mean, at least the second time around, I knew my stuff, and I was just like, you got a week of no class. I mean, you had to wake up in the morning, and I was still a rope, so I had to do my duties. You had a week of class, but all you had to do was just study. So that's all I was doing, going in the lab on my free time and studying. So the next time I knocked it out. So the second time I did my skills, I wasn't like afraid. I wasn't afraid to jump in there and just do it like everybody else who was just new to doing it already failed, so I already had it. So that's that with the rollback. So after you get out of the EMT, you take your registry. I took my registry that next Monday, or yeah, the next week after I failed. And I still had time to study registry because after skills, you take your registry that Monday. Because I failed, I still had another week to study. So I was like, failing, I mean, yeah, it sucked, but I mean, it is what it is. So you can't help what happened. So Monday registry. Registry is this hard test. I mean, it's hard if you make it hard, but I prayed. I'm a religious person. I got on my knees and I prayed. And that night, and then that Monday, some people said their test stopped at 90. Some people said their test stopped at 120. My test stopped at 120. So when I had friends telling me their test stopped at 90, at 70 questions and 90 questions, I was like, oh dang, I failed. Because why did mine go on so long? To find out I passed and some of them failed, and I was just like in total disbelief. Like I said before, I went through 4 years of college. I have a degree in mass communications, but this Fort Sam was probably the most tedious time that I've had, if not from basic. Basic was more physical. Fort Sam was more mental, and you had to actually use your brain, and it was using it to the extent where you were just like, it was just pushing things out. Like they were dumping things in you like that, like back to back to back. So Fort Sam, yeah, like I said, I have a degree, but Fort Sam was, it was it was challenging. And I know some people that actually got pushed out of the program, and they had to either reclass or they got kicked out. It depends on how good your record is. And when I say about the rope thing, yeah, it seemed like, oh, the rope, but it can help you out sometimes too. Cause just say if I did get pushed out the program, and the military's already going through cutbacks. They're kicking people out left and right. They're just, I know some people that actually got kicked out of the program, and they're not in the Air Force anymore due to the Air Force is like, we don't have a job open for you. We're going through budget cuts too. But just think about it. If you were, I know somebody that was a red rope and he got out of his program, and I think your rope can help you. Not saying that was the case with him, but I'm just saying, like, why not? Like, you excelled at everything you did. Not everybody's meant for everything. So maybe that program just isn't meant for you. But by you being a PTL, which is a PT leader or motivator, or by you just being involved in the community like that, the Air Force look out for people that actually want to be here. So don't get discouraged about if you fail, or don't be discouraged about if you're coming into the 4M program and you're just like, oh, well, I heard that the rollbacks. Don't listen to people. Just go. San Antonio is an awesome place. I'm not going to lie. I love me some San Antonio. So then after Fort Sam, I graduated and I went to um, Lackland. So the way that works is Lackland, I was there for 6 weeks. And at first I was kind of like disappointed because you get to go to like 7 places. It's either Travis, this is in California, Virginia. You get to go to I don't know, like Mississippi. You could go different places, Ohio, just different places. And unfortunately, 2 people out of the class got Mississippi. I mean Lackland, and it was me. And I was like, great. I'm the red rope. I'm the class leader. I'm thinking, hey, y'all gonna look out. But I got Lackland. I was like, dang, I didn't really want Lackland because that's what we did basic. And you think Lackland, basic. I'm not gonna lie. Clinicals at Lackland, the hospital is great. You got Samsey and you got Wilford Hall. So that's 2 hospitals that you get to work at. I saw about 3 births, 4 births in a day. I saw C-section and vaginal. I've seen like so much stuff, you guys. Like, so if you ever get Lackland as phase 2, don't be discouraged. Like that's what the sergeants kept telling me in class. They're just like, you're good. Ambulance, when you get to work it, like your 6 weeks of training is when you're basically doing clinicals, hands-on things. Like you're not in your books anymore. You are doing hands-on. You're riding the ambulance. You're doing IVs. You're helping deliver babies. You mean you just have to be when it comes to your clinicals, you have to be as proactive as possible. And what I mean by proactive is if there's a baby about to get born, you better go run upstairs. If you hear uh, trauma team to the trauma room and you're working in ICU and there's nothing going on, but nothing, you're sitting there in ICU. Excuse me, you're gonna say, excuse me, sir. I need to go down to trauma so I can see the trauma. I didn't get a chance to see as many traumas as other people did because different times I was doing different things. But yeah, traumas. ER was fun. 12-hour shifts. Eh, clinics, they're okay. I mean, yeah, fun. I love doing IV, so I love working in the lab. But Lackland itself, like our dorms was, they were not that good. But hopefully they're changing that soon for the future people that's coming in. The DFAC was closed beside us, so they gave us BS, but that didn't kick in until 4 weeks out of the 6 weeks that we were there. So we did get back paid, but it was just like, and if you didn't have a car, being at Lackland on Security Hill, it kind of, it's not ideal because the shuttle doesn't run all the time. But luckily, I had friends that was radiology and they were there for tech school too, so that was pretty cool that they had cars because I met them at Fort Sam. They were on my hallway. I was the hallway person writing down the names, checking in for curfew. So yeah, they had cars, so that made it so much fun. I actually enjoyed Lackland. Like, I'm in Mississippi right now, which I'm gonna make another video because I don't want this one to be too long about me being here as permanent party. Because you guys have seen me transition all the way from not being in to now being permanent party. So that's that. I just want to update you guys on my tech school experience. I love San Antonio. You will love San Antonio. Not at first because basic, but trust me, San Antonio is where it's at in my opinion. Also, there's a new curfew at Fort Sam. I'm hoping they're gonna dismiss it, but my last 2 months, no, I'm sorry, my last month at Fort Sam, there was a curfew. People were breaking the rules and stuff like that. So there was a 10:30 curfew at on the weekend, or actually every day, especially on the weekend, which sucks because if you're of age, you're like, dang, I got a 10:30 curfew. While the Navy and well, I'm not gonna say the Army because the Army was on lockdown like us, but the Navy, oh my God, the Navy did whatever they wanted to do, and they were fun people. The Navy to me had a more relaxed atmosphere than we did because they didn't have to get registered for EMT, so they were just like chilling while you see Air Force people stressing in the books, they out there chilling, like they didn't have a curfew. Yeah, they didn't have to have a wingman, a go belt like we did. But at the end of the day, like everything happens for a reason. My biggest advice to you guys is just go in there open minded, and just enjoy your time. Even if you do have a curfew, enjoy your time. Go look at San Antonio. Just go. I mean, I don't know if they're still not letting you guys go off, but I went to Austin. I went to Houston. I didn't get a chance to go to Dallas, but I love Austin. Houston, if you're over 21, I'm just gonna say good time. I don't really remember. We're gonna put it like that. I don't remember what the name of the club that I can suggest you guys go to. I think it was like Studio. I don't know, but San Antonio is fun. So if you guys have any more questions, just leave me a comment. Bye. I'll see y'all in like 2 seconds. I'm gonna post another video about permanent party. Bye.